The Joe Rogan Experience.
Quantum physics is weird enough as it is.
Yeah.
Without adding that movie was literally created by a channeler, right?
A friend of mine, David Albert, who is one of the leading philosophers of physics, and I should also give credit to philosophers here because they have been taking quantum mechanics seriously longer than the physicists have, to be honest. So David is one of many people who got a PhD in physics and then switched to philosophy because he cared about the foundations of quantum mechanics, and no physics department would ever hire him, right?
That's hilarious.
And I tell the
He had
story.
to go in through the back door.
Yeah, I tell the story in the book. Like, he wrote a bunch of influential papers as a graduate student, and then he went and said, I would like to, make these papers my PhD thesis. And they said, no, that's not really serious physics. And they punished him by making him write this incredibly technical mathematical paper on quantum field theory just to prove he could do it. And then he's like, I don't want to take this anymore. I'm switching fields. But anyway, he was in that film. He was in What the Bleep. And they lied to him. They misrepresented themselves. They said, we're doing a documentary about quantum mechanics. And they sat him down for 3 hours and asked him all these questions, leading questions like, doesn't this mean that we're bringing reality into existence by looking at it? And he's like, no, that's not what it means. Let me explain to you. And then in the final film, there's like 30-second clips of him going, yes, that is a really important question, right? Like completely misrepresenting what he said. And so he went public after that and complained about the film. And he did, in a hilarious story, there was a event, some sort of convention put on in Santa Monica by supporters of the film that they thought it would be fun to get all of the people who were in the movie, What the Bleep Do We Know, and get them and talk to them and charge people money to listen to them. But these people were not affiliated with the filmmakers. So they didn't know that David Albert had been completely misrepresented in the film. So they invited him. And he goes to this event in Santa Monica, and he gave a talk. He decided, he wondered, like, should I just go at all? But okay, why not? Let's reach a different audience. And he gave a talk, and he said, look, there's 2 things you can do when you are faced with fundamental puzzles of reality. One is you can face up to what the world is trying to tell you, and you can accept it and take it as what it is, no matter what you like. The other is you can choose to tell a flattering story about yourself. And the people who made this movie have decided that the mysteries of quantum mechanics are really stories about how they are powerful and have influence over reality and so forth, but it's all nonsense. And the punchline is the audience loved it. They went nuts because what they wanted was a guru of some sort, and like he was just as good a guru as anybody else. Right. So he had a better story to tell.
A reality-based
reality guru. Yeah. So I think you're right. I mean, I think that quantum mechanics, I've said before, is of all the theories in the history of science, the most easily distorted and misrepresented in the popular mind.
When my first movie came out, I think every review basically said something along the lines of, worst movie ever made. I hate this movie. And now people are like, dude, that's your best movie. Like you've been chasing it ever since. So it's just weird how, same with White Zombie. When our first Geffen, I still remember this, our first Geffen record came out, I saw the first review. It was this magazine, Alternative Press, who 2 years ago gave me this Lifetime Achievement Award, and I had to read the review while I accepted the award. The review said, this is the worst band ever. I was like, ever? Come on. And it said, this is the worst band ever. Ignore this band. So there was something, there must have been something.
Did you ever contact the person who wrote that?
No, I didn't. Back then I was just like,
weird. I felt like maybe a few years later, once you were really successful.
I can't remember who it was. I used to be upset by reviews until I saw who wrote them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
and
a
then
problem.
You go, that guy? I don't like
a lot of critics are critics because they really wanted to be writers. They just don't have a lot to contribute, and so they just shit on things.
And it's just like when you're young and you're new and you're reading it, you think that the guy's writing it all badass. You'll think, oh, this dude must look like Lemmy. He must be this hard-ass guy. And and then you see a guy like, that guy wrote it? Oh, fuck him. And fuck everyone else who ever writes anything again. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, but the thing is about music is it's so subjective, and someone who grew up wearing the right Eyes Odd shirts, hanging with the cool crowd, they're not gonna. Your music's not gonna resonate with them the same way it's gonna be with other people that felt like they were outsiders.
I mean, I can only do what I do, and I don't know what would be popular. Right. I don't understand popular culture in a way, because when people are like gushing over something, a movie or something, I see it, I go, I hated that movie. I know it made $500 million and it's everyone's favorite movie. I go, I could barely sit through it.
Yeah, there's a lot of those being made.
Same with music. Like, I'd be like, oh, I love the Velvet Underground. Everyone's like, but what about? And they'll name something like, I don't want to bash anybody, but something so popular. Like, I go, that makes me want to kill myself when I hear that. Literally, it's sickening.
The thing is as well, like what happens is like on a Friday at our gym, like the whole gym will like be changing partners and stuff like that. So if I come across someone who's a bit less experienced and stuff, and they're going hard and they're not too sure about what they're doing, and you end up getting hurt. Like,
yeah.
So that's why I took myself out of that and don't really do it anymore.
Yeah, that's a wise thing, man. It's wise, and I really wish more young fighters would appreciate that early in their career, because I think so many of them are compromised by the time they get to the big leagues.
Yeah.
By the time they get to Bellator or MMA and with the UFC or, even kickboxing guys, by the time they get to big fights, they've already been dinged up too much.
Yeah,
They
true.
can't take a shot anymore.
Yeah, 100%. I've seen that loads recently as well. Like fighters who are like 27, 28 should be just starting the prime now for the next 4 or 5 years, and they're already punchy as fuck. Do you know what I mean?
I think you said an interesting thing. Sorry,
No.
Usyk, Alexander Usyk.
Yes.
And I'm like, I'm boring, and I'm always watching fights, even if it's in Russian and reading the subtitles. And there's one about
You're
Alexander.
saying he's boring?
No, I'm boring. I just sit there watching fights all the time. That's just what I do. But there's a video of Usyk, and he was saying about now people aren't moving the feet. He said you watch the American styles and the British, they're all like doing this, and the Philly shell and stuff like that. They're not moving the feet anymore, which I found was really interesting, because if you look, their footwork is so superior to other people's.
Him and
Loma,
yeah.
when he fought Tony Bellew, put up a great performance against him, but he just put him in a position, and the end of it, he was fucked.
Yeah, not many people
With his
realised
feet.
what he'd actually done either as well. He'd put him there and he were waiting and waiting and waiting, and when he got him there, he knew he couldn't get out, and he bang.
Yeah.
It would have been amazing if we got a chance to see Floyd versus Loma when Floyd was in his prime.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That would have been
Yeah.
fucking incredible to
Yeah.
see which style's superior.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Floyd would move towards you like this. He would just get right up on you.
And he'll be trying to like move
Yeah.
on the back of him and stuff like that. It would have been
Oh
amazing.
my
But you
God.
said that, like, I think it was one that when you said he was talking to someone where he was Mayweather, Pretty Boy Floyd, and Money Mayweather. It's like two different fighters, really.
100%, yeah.
Because
Yes.
Money Mayweather,
Yes.
the Pretty Boy Floyd was better was more on his feet, sharper on his
More
feet,
aggressive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
more
Yeah,
aggressive
way more
as well.
aggressive.
He were a fighter,
Especially with
and
them right hands when he fought Philip Pendoon, he hit him with like 6 right hands, like bang,
Yeah, and what he
bang,
did to
bang.
Gatti and stuff like that.
Going right up to the body,
yeah.
then right
Tyrell
hand.
Gotti that was a horrific
Oh,
massacre.
mate.
Yeah.
It was
Doesn't
bad,
he
that one.
realise
I remember watching that. I was only young as well when I watched that. I remember thinking, fucking hell. This
a
is
right beating,
It's
didn't
bad,
he?
yeah.
I mean, he was executing him.
Yeah.
He had
Yeah, badly.
no desire. I mean, no
Yeah.
business being in the ring
No.
with him.
No.
Yeah. But just show you how good Floyd really is.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
awesome.
I mean, people just, because of the fact that he's won decisions by, playing it safe, people that just don't get excited about him and
Nah.
they recognize him with the all-time greats. He's the best ever.
Yeah, I
He
believe-
really
I
is.
believe so.
I
Well, look what he
believe
did with
he's the best
Canelo.
ever.
Yeah.
I mean, he
Oh.
absolutely schooled him.
You
You
know
could
what?
say
Shut him
this, that,
down.
and that.
Yeah.
But he just absolutely
Changed
schooled him.
Canelo's style.
Yeah, he did.
You look at the way
100%.
Canelo fight Daniel Jacobs. Fucking so much head movement and so elusive now.
Yeah.
And he learned.
In Amsterdam, on the way from Amsterdam to London, Dan bought some mushrooms.
Uh-oh.
And I guess they're illegal there. I didn't. Dan bought them and brought them we were traveling in a van at the time, and they were giant, fresh mushrooms.
Not even dried?
No, man, it was like a meal. And he bought them. He's like, you should take some. You should take some. And I was like, I ate like the stem, and it was massive. I mean, it was like eating a burrito. And I was like, and after like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, it's like, I don't feel anything. And Dan's like, just eat the fucking rest, man. I don't know. I eat the rest of this thing, this massive ass thing, and like, I just instantly start sweating. And it smells like portobello mushrooms seeping from my skin. And I yell up to the driver. I'm like starting to spin out. I'm like, how do you get this to stop? He turns around. He only wore black and his shades on. And I really thought at the time he was like Satan. He's like, drink loads of beer. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I just like in the back, just like, fucking like freaking out for like 2 hours. And then finally we stop. I'm like, I gotta get the fuck out of this van. This is in 2003. This is a long time ago. And
You were white knuckling your girlfriend.
I was like, hey. And then we get out, and like, I was like, I just think it's the fresh air, man. And like, we stop at this gas station in Belgium, and I walk into the bathroom with Dan, and they're like, this woman's like speaking in French, like, it's basically saying I was like, what the fuck? What's happening? Dan's like, it costs money to pee here, bro. And I was like, what? He's like, I know, man. Is that crazy? And I'm like fucking freaking out. And all I had was like 50 euros, and I put it on the tray. And Dan grabs it and puts it in my pocket, and then puts like a nickel there. Like, dude, it doesn't cost that much to pee. And I'm like, and then we both start laughing at that moment. And then I turned the edge from that, and then it was an amazing experience. We started being like laughing at like how clean their dumpster was. Like they had bright, like even the dumpsters here are clean. It was like bright red.
You could
like,
eat off it.
We could eat. Like, you could really truly dumpster dive here, and it'd be like eating a regular meal in America. But I got that panicky thing right there at the top, and I swear that shit opened it up for me, man.
There was no natural light in the back of the van. Also, all the windows had the really dark tint, black tint.
Oh.
So we were just in this panic van.
Yeah, you need to get outside.
Dark, yeah. I remember when the sliding door went open, it was like when they went into Willy Wonka's place.
Yeah.
All the light came in, and then it seemed like it was crazy because when we got back in the van 3 fucking hours later, like our driver was like, dude, we gotta go. I was like, we've been here for 20 minutes. He's like, it's been 3 hours of you guys talking about this dumpster. And I was like, no way.
Colin, I love. By the way, very underrated.
Oh yeah, super.
Never
underrated.
talked about Colin Quinn. Genius comedy.
Genius.
But
When he
they're
did
tight.
Tough Crowd, were you around those days?
Oh, that's my whole comedy world is Tough Crowd. That's like my influence.
Were you ever on it or
No. That was 04. I started in 06.
I came around. I was on it like maybe second season or something like that. I forget. And Colin, I hadn't seen him in forever, and he was warming up the crowd. So he's doing stand up to warm up the crowd.
Yeah.
I mean, and fucking murdering. And I was thinking, he's like right now doing something that's way better than the show itself.
Oh,
like,
interesting.
This is so weird.
Right.
Because like his stand-up, like it was very tight. And and they were huge Colin Quinn fans,
Sure.
and Tough Crowd fans, so they were laughing hard. But what that show was the first show where comics could ball bust.
Yes.
Like we do in the back bar at the store,
Right.
or like we do, when we're in the green room. We talk shit about each other. We fuck
Yeah.
around. We have fun.
Yeah.
And we make fun of each other and we laugh.
And it's real. It
Yes.
wasn't fake. Like they
Right.
try to reenact the ball busting, and it's always
You can't do
embarrassing.
that.
You
That
can't.
is like if someone says something and they're like, Mark, we didn't get coverage on that. Do you think you repeat that?
Can you
The
call his
fuck?
mom a skank again? We didn't get it,
Get the fuck out of here. I'm
I
not
mean,
faking that.
I remember DePaulo had some line. He said Ralphie May was sitting on a big red beanbag chair, and DePaulo said, "You look like you jumped out of a plane and landed on a Coke machine."
Oh my
I fucking
God.
lost it. And then
Oh my
He
God.
called Patrice Star Jones. One time he bombed and he took a sip, and Patrice goes, "Yeah, take another sip of timing." I mean, they were just so many zings, and these guys were the king of zing. They knew each other, and it was genius.
No, it was a show that I don't even think you could do today.
No, it was too real.